I am quote channel presents.
Most famous quotes by Ernest Hemingway, the author of The Old Man and the Sea. Ernest Hemingway was one of the most celebrated American novelists, short story writers, and journalists of the 20th century. He was also a Nobel laureate and Pulitzer Prize winner. Hemingway's personal life was equally as well publicized as his work. Hemingway may be compared to Lady Gaga as the literary club's representative for the 20th century. He fundamentally altered how the rest of the world perceived American authors. Hemingway, who was raised in a Chicago suburb, decided against starting his graduate studies right after graduating from high school and instead chose to work as a journalist. His early journalism experience had a big influence on his later literary career. Before finally making it in the literary world, he served in World War I. He released his first book, The Sun Also Rises, in 1926, influenced by the modernist authors and painters of the 1920s. A year later, he wrote the book A Farewell to Arms, which was largely inspired by his experiences during the war. It signaled the beginning of a legacy, and shortly after, equally popular books like For Whom the Bell Tolls and The Old Man and the Sea, which are now regarded as classics of American literature, appeared. Hemingway's concise and clear literary style had a significant impact on 20th century American and British fiction. The same is evident in his quotes, which cover a wide range of life subjects and provide readers fresh angles and perspectives to consider. Check out some of the most well-known quotes by Ernest Hemingway in this section. There is no friend as loyal as a book. There is nothing to writing. All you do is sit down at a typewriter and bleed. Happiness in intelligent people is the rarest thing I know. I love sleep. My life has the tendency to fall apart when I'm awake, you know? The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. Always do sober what you said you'd do drunk. That will teach you to keep your mouth shut. The world breaks everyone, and afterward, many are strong at the broken places. There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. The first draft of anything is shit. All you have to do is write one true sentence. Write the truest sentence that you know. The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving someone too much and forgetting that you are special too. I drink to make other people more interesting. When people talk, listen completely. Most people never listen. It is good to have an end to journey toward, but it is the journey that matters in the end. Every day is a new day. It is better to be lucky. But I would rather be exact. Then when luck comes you are ready. All thinking men are atheists. Courage is grace under pressure. Never think that war, no matter how necessary nor how justified, is not a crime. Every man's life ends the same way. It is only the details of how he lived and how he died that distinguish one man from another. But man is not made for defeat, he said. A man can be destroyed, but not defeated. Never confuse movement with action. As a writer, you should not judge, you should understand. A cat has absolute emotional honesty. Human beings, for one reason or another, may hide their feelings, but a cat does not. Forget your personal tragedy. We are all bitched from the start, and you especially have to be hurt like hell before you can write seriously. But when you get the damned hurt, use it, don't cheat with it. I'm not brave anymore, darling. I'm all broken. They've broken me. There's no one thing that's true. It's all true. You can't get away from yourself by moving from one place to another. My aim is to put down on paper what I see and what I feel in the best and simplest way. I can't stand it to think my life is going so fast and I'm not really living it. Never to go on trips with anyone you do not love. And you'll always love me, won't you? Yes, and the rain won't make any difference? No. If you are lucky enough to have lived in Paris as a young man, then wherever you go for the rest of your life, it stays with you, for Paris is a movable feast. Write hard and clear about what hurts. An intelligent man is sometimes forced to be drunk to spend time with his fools. In order to write about life, first you must live it. The first and final thing you have to do in this world is to last it and not be smashed by it. So far, about morals, I know only that what is moral is what you feel good after, and what is immoral is what you feel bad after. The hard part about writing a novel is finishing it. But life isn't hard to manage when you've nothing to lose. When you love, you wish to do things for. You wish to sacrifice for. You wish to serve. All things truly wicked start from innocence. Isn't it pretty to think so? If two people love each other, there can be no happy end to it. You are so brave and quiet, I forget you are suffering. It is awfully easy to be hard-boiled about everything in the daytime, but at night it is another thing. You know, it makes one feel rather good, deciding not to be a bitch. No, that is the great fallacy, the wisdom of old men. They do not grow wise. They grow careful. They wrote in the old days that it is sweet and fitting to die for one's country. But in modern war, there is nothing sweet nor fitting in your dying. You will die like a dog for no good reason. Worry a little bit every day, and in a lifetime you will lose a couple of years. If something is wrong, fix it if you can. But train yourself not to worry. Worry never fixes anything. I didn't want to kiss you goodbye, that was the trouble. I wanted to kiss you goodnight, and there's a lot of difference. Madam, all stories, if continued far enough, end in death, and he is no true storyteller who would keep that from you. It's none of their business that you have to learn how to write. Let them think you were born that way. All my life I've looked at words as though I were seeing them for the first time. We ate well and cheaply, and drank well and cheaply, and slept well and warm, together and loved each other. We would be together, and have our books, and at night be warm in bed together, with the windows open, and the stars bright. Live the full life of the mind, exhilarated by new ideas, intoxicated by the romance of the unusual. When you start to live outside yourself, it's all dangerous. Don't you ever get the feeling that all your life is going by, and you're not taking advantage of it? Do you realize you've lived nearly half the time you have to live already? After writing a story, I was always empty, and both sad and happy, as though I had made love, and I was sure this was a very good story, although I would not know truly how good until I read it over the next day. Let him think that I am more man than I am, and I will be so. The most essential gift for a good writer is a built-in, shock-proof, shit detector.